Like it or not, this planet is stitched together by a web of caves, some stretching deeper than the mind can grasp. For every city we build above, nature has carved its own eerie underworld below. Only down there, you won't find cozy couches or streaming services. Instead, you'll stumble upon things that don't belong. From billion-year-old caverns to abandoned mines, these dark spaces have swallowed some truly bizarre artifacts, things that defy logic, history, and sometimes basic human decency. From ritualistic oddities to objects that make scientists scratch their heads, here are 15 of the strangest discoveries ever made in the depths of Earth's caves. Number 15. The Bone Theater. The Paris catacombs are famous for being one of the world's largest underground cemeteries, with over 6 million skeletons packed into its dark, winding tunnels. But bones aren't the only thing hidden below the City of Light. In 2004, French police discovered something so unexpected that it still baffles authorities. Most people who sneak into the catacombs just take pictures and leave. But someone, or some group, went much further. They carved out an underground hideout, complete with a movie theater, restaurant, and bar. The setup was professional. Stone-cut terraces for seating, a fully stocked bar, and even a pressure cooker for making couscous. The place even had electricity and 3 working phone lines, down in a sealed-off boneyard. Police left to investigate further, but when they returned, the entire setup had been stripped clean, leaving behind just one chilling note: "Do not try to find us." Number 14. Confusing giant bones. While tiny human bones shocked archaeologists in Indonesia, another cave in China had the opposite problem. The Pangxian Dadong caves contained an inexplicable pile of giant prehistoric animal bones. Remains of ancient rhinos, elephant-like stegodons, and even Gigantopithecus, a 10-foot-tall primate that eerily resembles Bigfoot, were all buried deep in the cavern. That's weird enough, but here's where it gets truly confusing. The cave sits 1,600 feet above sea level, with a sheer rock face blocking easy entry. These weren't small animals that could scurry inside. So how did they get there? Adding to the mystery, many of the bones showed burn marks and cut marks, suggesting that humans dragged these giant creatures up into the cave to be butchered and cooked. But why go through all that effort? And how exactly did they haul rhinos and elephants up a mountainside? Some mysteries of the past may never be solved. Number 13. A witch's ghost. In 2016, 2 hikers deep in the Catskill Mountains stumbled upon something they should have left alone. Inside a small cave sat a wooden statue of a woman, roughly carved but terrifyingly lifelike. A noose hung around her neck, and nails were hammered straight into her eyes. The 2 hikers had different instincts. One wanted to leave it behind, but the other took it home. That's when everything started going wrong. The friend who took the effigy reported that it moved on its own. Strange knocking sounds filled his house at night. Then the nightmares started. Someone, or something, was watching him. He finally decided to get rid of it, donating the statue to an occult museum where it still sits today, now known as the Crone of the Catskills. Was it just paranoia, or had they really disturbed something ancient? Whatever the truth, no one dares take the statue back. Number 12. Hobbits. In 2003, archaeologists digging in Liang Bua Cave in Indonesia uncovered something completely unexpected: a set of ancient human bones. But there was a problem. These weren't ordinary human remains. Though fully grown, these skeletons belonged to people who stood only about 3.5 feet tall. Scientists quickly nicknamed them hobbits, but their official classification is Homo floresiensis, a new species of ancient human that had never been seen before. Initially, some experts thought the skeletons belonged to diseased individuals, but recent studies have shut that theory down. These weren't malformed humans. They were an entire species of short-statured, intelligent, tool-using people. And here's the creepy part. Local legends had already spoken of tiny, hairy people who lived in the forest. Called the Ebu Gogo, these creatures were said to mimic human speech and steal food. Myth? Maybe. But it makes you wonder, just how recent were these little people walking among us? Now let's move to number 11, a new Dead Sea Scroll and a time traveler. The Dead Sea Scrolls aren't just a one-time discovery. They're an ongoing mystery. Since the 1940s, archaeologists have been unearthing thousands of fragments, piecing together ancient biblical texts one sliver at a time. And in 2021, a new set of fragments was found in Israel's Cave of Horror, a name that already tells you this wasn't going to be a normal excavation. The cave earned its chilling title in the 1960s when researchers uncovered the bodies of 40 Jewish refugees, victims of the 2nd century Roman conquest. But when archaeologists returned in 2021, they found something even more unsettling. More Dead Sea Scroll fragments, buried alongside the mummified remains of a 6,000-year-old girl. What's a Neolithic child doing next to a set of scrolls written 4,000 years later? Was she buried there by accident? Or was there something more deliberate at play? While we may never know, the Cave of Horror continues to live up to its name. Number 10. Conspiracy rocks. Caves are time capsules, sealed-off worlds where geology plays by its own rules. In their depths, rocks and minerals form into strange, almost impossible shapes, creating natural oddities that fuel conspiracy theories and, of course, ancient alien believers. Take the Wolfsegg iron, also called the Salzburg cube, discovered in the 1800s. It was dismissed as a meteorite at first, but its unnaturally smooth, machine-like shape made some believe it had been worked on by advanced civilizations before falling to Earth. Then, there are the Klerksdorp spheres, small metallic-looking orbs unearthed in South Africa. They date back a mind-blowing 3 billion years, yet some look like they were precision-engineered by machines. Of course, science has explanations. Unusual geological processes shape these artifacts over millions of years. But the truth never stops a good conspiracy. To this day, some still believe these objects are evidence of pre-human civilizations or extraterrestrial visitors. Number 9. Skull cups. Gough's Cave, an ancient cavern system in Somerset, England, is famous for one particular resident, Cheddar Man, the oldest complete human skeleton ever found in Britain. But deeper inside the cave, archaeologists found something far more unsettling, evidence of cannibalism. Researchers discovered the cut-marked remains of multiple humans, some of whom were clearly butchered for consumption. Even more shocking, certain skulls had been carefully carved and shaped into drinking vessels. The oldest belonged to an adult, but one belonged to a child as young as 3. This wasn't random violence, it was ritualistic. The cuts suggest the bodies were skinned, dismembered, and consumed before their skulls were deliberately shaped into cups. Why? Some believe it was survival cannibalism, while others think it had ceremonial significance. Either way, drinking from the skulls of the dead proves one thing. Ancient humans were capable of bone-chilling traditions that make modern horror movies look tame. Number 8. 45,000-year-old jewelry. If there's one thing humans love, it's shiny objects. We've been adorning ourselves with jewelry for thousands of years, and apparently, that obsession goes back even further than we thought. In 2008, explorers in Denisova Cave, Siberia, uncovered an ancient green bracelet, a piece of jewelry so old it predates the invention of the wheel by 40,000 years. Yes, before humans figured out how to roll things, they were already rocking accessories. Since then, archaeologists have found more evidence of prehistoric bling, including a marble bracelet, a marble ring, and intricately sculpted pins carved from marmot bones. The craftsmanship is shockingly advanced, suggesting early humans, or perhaps Denisovans, a now extinct human relative, were far more skilled than we once believed. In short, fashion statements are nothing new. If anything, they were one of humanity's first priorities, long before wheels, writing, or civilization itself. Number 7. The largest crystal in the world. Some caves hold bones and relics, but others contain something far more otherworldly, crystals the size of skyscrapers. Buried nearly 1,000 feet beneath Mexico's Chihuahuan Desert, the Naka Mine is home to the largest crystals on Earth. First discovered in the 2000s, this cavern looks like a scene from a sci-fi movie, with towering milky white crystal formations reaching up to 36 feet long. But stepping inside is no easy feat. The cave's super creepy in extreme conditions, temperatures reaching 136 degrees Fahrenheit and 100% humidity, make it virtually uninhabitable for more than a few minutes. Without protective suits, visitors would literally cook from the inside out. The crystals formed over 500,000 years ago, growing in a mineral-rich environment that allowed them to reach impossible sizes. While the mine remains closed to the public, it remains one of the most surreal natural wonders ever discovered, a hidden kingdom of crystal giants. Number 6. A Wolverine skull. In 1980, explorers deep in Stump Cross Caverns, England, found something unexpected: a wolverine skull. That's right, a creature typically associated with icy tundras and Canada once roamed the Yorkshire Dales. During the last ice age, wolverines were as common in Britain as squirrels or otters are today. But as temperatures changed, these fierce little predators vanished from the region, leaving only their bones behind. So how did this particular wolverine end up buried in a cave? It didn't walk in by choice, that's for sure. Scientists believe its remains were washed into the caverns by glacial meltwater, carried underground thousands of years ago. This discovery proved that Britain's prehistoric landscape was far wilder than we ever imagined. It's a reminder of an era when massive glaciers covered the land and creatures long extinct still roamed freely. Number 5. A rainforest in a cave. For a break from murder and cannibalism, let's talk about Son Doong Cave in Vietnam, a place that's less of a cavern and more of a hidden world straight out of science fiction. Son Doong is the largest cave chamber on Earth, and inside its towering rock walls, an entire rainforest thrives. That's right, a real rainforest, with trees hundreds of feet tall. Nicknamed the Garden of Eden, this underground paradise is home to an ecosystem so self-sufficient that even birds and monkeys live within its depths. This lost world remained hidden until 2009, when explorers accidentally stumbled upon it. Before that, only a few locals knew of its existence. The cave's sheer scale and beauty stunned the scientific community, proving that Earth still holds secrets in the least expected places. If you ever feel like the world has been fully explored, just remember, there's a jungle inside a cave, and we only found it a decade ago. Number 4. Tunnel of the Undead. Hidden in Colorado Springs, a long-abandoned tunnel holds a ghastly surprise. If you dare to enter, you'll eventually find yourself surrounded by grotesque, nightmarish paintings of zombies. No one knows who painted them or why they were hidden in total darkness, but one thing is clear: the artist never wanted them to be found. The level of detail suggests serious effort, making it even stranger that no one has ever come forward to claim their work. Theories range from an abandoned horror art project to something far more sinister. Some visitors say the tunnel has a chilling atmosphere, as if someone, or something, is still lurking in the shadows. One thing's for certain: if the zombies on the walls don't terrify you, the eerie silence of the tunnel just might. Number 3. The Catskills Crone. In 2016, a group of hikers exploring the Catskill Mountains stumbled upon a wooden effigy deep inside a cave. It had a noose around its neck and nails driven into its eyes. One hiker insisted on leaving it alone, but another took it home. That was a mistake. Within days, his house reeked of stagnant pond water, objects moved on their own, and banging sounds kept him up at night. Then came the footprints, muddy, human-like, appearing overnight. The final straw? Loud, ragged breathing filled his room when no one else was there. Terrified, he sought help online, eventually sending the effigy to paranormal expert Greg Newkirk. But even in Greg's museum, the haunting never stopped. Today, the crone of the Catskills sits in a locked case, its malevolent energy barely contained. One thing's for sure, some things should never be disturbed. Number 2. A 100-year-old axe murderer. Joseph Henry Loveless was a man who knew how to disappear. A career criminal and bootlegger, he had escaped jail multiple times before authorities finally locked him up in 1916. This time for murdering his wife with an axe. But Loveless had one last trick up his sleeve, a hidden saw blade in his shoe. Days later, he vanished from his cell, never to be seen again. Or so it seemed. In 1979, a family exploring Buffalo Cave in Idaho discovered a beheaded torso stuffed into a burlap sack. No ID, no head, and no answers. Then in 1991, another search turned up a severed hand, then 2 missing legs, and finally an arm, all in the same cave. It wasn't until 2019 that DNA testing finally cracked the case. The dismembered remains belonged to Joseph Henry Loveless, making his final escape a gruesome one. Who killed him? Some suspect his wife's family took revenge, but the truth remains as buried as the body once was. Number 1. A crystallized human sacrifice. Deep in Acton Tunachil Muknal, a Maya ritual cave in Belize, lies one of the most haunting archaeological finds of all time, a fully crystallized skeleton. Nicknamed the Crystal Maiden, though later discovered to be male, this 17-year-old sacrifice victim was brutally killed, his vertebrae smashed before being left to decay. Over time, mineral deposits coated his bones, turning him into something unnervingly beautiful. His body sparkles under light as if encased in a thin layer of glass. And he wasn't alone. The cave contains numerous human remains, some with skull modifications, others positioned in ways that suggest they were ritually sacrificed. The ancient Maya believed this cave was a portal to the underworld, and to satisfy their gods, they offered blood and life. The Crystal Maiden now serves as a chilling reminder of the horrors of the past, preserved forever in stone. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.